Hey there, I'm actually coming back. I want to talk a little more about the Myers-Briggs personality test. As I mentioned in the previous video, I am a INFP, and I took some notes, so I just want to go over that. And I also want to share some personal experiences. I do not have, I haven't, studied extensively, on the subject, but I am familiar with it. And of course, I've had my own experiences, and I can see how having this personality type, has kind of like how that plays off on like how I behave and conduct myself. Um, so the INFP, it stands for introverted. The N is intuition. Uh, F is feeling, and P is perception. Known as the meditator. They do need to meditate. Like that's a big plus for them. But they're known as the mediator and the healer. They are sensitive, empathetic, caring, compassionate, and they engage themselves in a lifelong quest for meaning and authenticity. And I also thought that it was interesting, because I do know about astrology and numerology, just associating this personality type or archetype with like how does that correlate with numerology and how does that correlate with astrology. In numerology, I am a life path 7, and a lot of the things that are described um, for the INFP, a lot of that is said describing the life path 7. And I'm a 16/7, so I also have the karmic debt. Um, um, and also in astrology, I would liken this um, to Pisces. My moon is in Pisces, and also in the eighth house. But I just feel like the Pisces energy really it mirrors a lot of what is described for the INFP. And I was just wondering, like, any other INFPs? Do they know their numerology? Do they know their life path numbers and also their moon signs? I think it would be interesting to try to like gauge. And I know that like there's different types of Leos out there. Just because you have a Leo sun doesn't mean that all Leos are the same. And I know all sevens aren't the same, and all INFPs are not the same. So, um, but I did think that was interesting. Um, yeah, so I just wanted to throw that out there. They make up the INFPs. They make up 4% of the population. They seek deeper understanding. Um, INFP can be abbreviated for I never find perfection. Being such idealists, and just having these expectations or beliefs and thoughts that can be a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Lofty. Um, INFPs like the idea of human contact, but not so much the reality of social contact. Very true. Um, like I was saying in my previous video, it's easy for me to create a space for someone, or at least this is what I think, um, or at least from what I've been told as well. That I can create a space that's very comfortable and for someone to be vulnerable and to open themselves up and to share. dark, hidden parts of themselves. But that's when it comes time to reciprocate that. That's not something that I can do easily. Life advice for INFP: save as much as you can. Save as much as you spend. Money equals freedom. Don't be afraid. Go for it, even if it blows. Even the blows will prove beneficial in the end. Um, you got to move past fear and and just keep pushing. I was saying before that self-confidence and just the way that I see myself and my whole value, I have allowed that to prevent me from chasing after my dreams. Um, It says believe in yourself but never stop improving. Having big dreams are great, but that's no reason to be so self-critical. Aim to improve, but remember to love yourself. Love and accept yourself. Reflect on past improvements. Another big thing is finishing things. Even if you can even scroll through this channel and you can see that I've been at this for a couple years now, and I've really been finding my footing. You'll see that there is a bunch of videos here, and then there's a point in time where there's a period to where I don't post at all. And I'll say that believing in yourself and never stop improving, um, and just knowing exactly what I am, uh, especially when it comes to astrology and anything that's occult, because I grew up very religious. So it's like I oftentimes don't know exactly what is my true belief, and then I'll start this channel, and begin talking about astrology, and then I'll start thinking about, well, like, how's my family gonna see me in this light, and see me talking about astrology and tarot cards, and um, and just being on the left of things. That kind of brings me to a conversation that I want to have. I spoke about it in the last video, saying that I began this year very much in hermit mode, isolating myself, taking myself off of social media, and there was a few things that contributed to that action. I mentioned COVID. COVID has been pretty interesting, and I'm pretty sure for everyone. I was one of the ones who did not get vaccinated, so that was something that was challenging for me, because I don't like to rock the boat, right? I don't like to make waves, but I have the belief that I have the belief of natural immunity versus, a vaccination immunity. And I just found myself on the left of things, even being called an anti-vaxxer, and, just feeling like I felt like this COVID put me in a position to where I didn't want to speak out about things because I wasn't in the majority. COVID affected all of us, here in some type of way. If it wasn't directly to you, it was, your family members or your friends. And I'll say it became just too much, even seeing it on social media, Facebook, and, if you're not vaxxed, you're stupid. And, I remember, unfriending people and just disgusted by, people saying that you should die because you're not vaxxed and you're making it worse for us type shit. And I'm just like, it was actually too much for me. Like, it began to be too much. And I bring that up because I feel as I was like watching a lot of videos today, I started to think about, like myself and my actions, especially this year. Um, and I kind of feel like that was a dose of like what it would be like to have to stand up for something that you believe in, especially when you are not a part of the majority. Um, a lot of times I do feel like that, and a lot of times I will allow that to, to either play small, keep quiet, not do anything, and as I was reflecting today, I was like, maybe that was just like a test, like a little test for you to show you like what it can be like, and I remember another thing was like I really had to let go of, wanting to be liked and wanting to be accepted. Um, and to just really stand firm in what it is that I believe, um, and what I do believe. And I bring that up to be secure in myself, that there's going to be a lot of things that will be considered to be, off kilter, or just left field, and, I'm black, I'm gay, I'm an anti-vaxxer. So there's a lot of things that, a lot of people could just say like, oh, you're wrong, you're not supposed to do this, and have their opinions about it. And I just feel like this is a great opportunity for me to look at myself, accept myself, and be able to stand for that self. Um, don't doubt yourself, work hard and make it happen. One of the shadow sides of being an INFP is, starting something and not finishing it. Um, Another video hinted to that. It was what was it? Shit. This like, what was it called? The sparkling light or something. The flashing light. Just because something sparkles and it's new, it's just like, oh, this gets my attention, and then you get it, and then you see something else. Oh, this is cute too, And so you begin a project or begin something and not necessarily finish it. So finishing things that's a big thing for me. That is a big thing for me. I've started a lot of different projects, and this is also getting me to be secure in myself, to be like, Brian, really write down what it is that you want to do, and then really gauge like how you are working towards that. How are you being consistent in what it is that you say that you want and what you're doing? How are those two things adding up, or lining up at least? And another big thing that I took away from, the videos that I watched, the more you are true to yourself, the more you will have to defend your true self. Even when people are against you and they disagree, you have to know that persistence trumps resistance. A lot of times when you are being yourself, not everyone is going to like it. And I feel like that's another thing that I have to let go of. Just really work to be liked, and like everyone has to like it, everyone has to approve, everyone has to validate it, and it's just like, no, you will be met with resistance, and that's not a reason to just stop and to not continue, to not, continue to keep putting one foot in front of the other. So get shit done, you carve out your freedom, and you see the benefits of being a misfit. You see the benefits of being on the left. You see the benefits of being a part of the minority. One of the biggest things is authenticity, and I have often found myself choosing to be nice rather than being honest. I had took a transformational course, and I remember one of the exercises was showing up as the gender that you you feel like showing up as the gender that you don't feel like you tap into, you have much access to. And I remember showing up as a man, and I remember a lot of my friends. I talk about Daniel a lot. Daniel, he was very surprised at the fact that I didn't show up as female, and at the fact that I identify so much more from my feminine side than I do my masculine side. And I think the guy's name is Ishar. He talked about INFPs, the tips that he was giving tips to INFPs who were males, and a lot of it centered around moving towards the feminine principles. We all have masculine and feminine properties, and just the INFP male moving towards the female aspect, and like completely ditching the masculine aspect, because it's like we, as a child, growing up in a certain environment teaches you that the masculine, the negative traits of masculinity, the dark side, the shadow of masculinity, like those were the traits that you were exposed to. And so you kind of have this mindset that this is what masculinity is, and so you try to stray away from it. But there's also it's also not healthy to go straight to the feminine, because the feminine has shadow sides as well, and you'll end up just being in the shadow side of the feminine. So I have struggled a lot with my masculinity, especially as a gay male. And the irony is, like, I feel like I present a lot as masculine, but inside I feel like, I'm not gonna say I feel like a girl, but I feel very soft and like gentle, and the video really called me out to just, well, not necessarily called me out, but brought to my awareness that it's important to develop your masculine side, or the side that you don't necessarily identify with or feel like you have much access to. It's important to develop that side, because both sides are needed. Both sides have positive traits, both sides have negative traits, and you can fall into either one, especially when you're just trying to swing to one side and just stay there. So these notes came from Erik Thor. He was talking about authenticity and said, this will help with gauging your authenticity. You ask, how truthful am I being? How authentic am I being? And how consistent am I in what I say and what I do? He said that finding harmony between what I say and do, these conflicting polarities, is the key to growth. And with this video, just from here on out, I am just really gonna take myself on and just improve myself as far as accepting of myself, getting to a place to where I can accept, and loving myself while on this journey. That's what's most important. And yeah. So, what do you identify as? What's your personality type? And if you have anything to add, feel free to drop down in the comments and do your thing. But until next time, I'll check you later.